Hello friends, welcome to our channel Right Click Education. In today's video, we will learn how we can implement Angular material table with pagination and sorting. Okay, so if you see here, we have this table implemented. Okay, and this is the pagination that has been implemented on the table. So first, let me show you the table. So this is the table which has 10 rows. Okay, now if you want in a single page, or if you want at once you only want to see 5 records or 10 records or 3 records, any number of record that you want, you can use pagination. So let me do for 5. So if you see, now we can see only the 5 data, right? So this is the map table, and we have implemented pagination with it. And now let me show you how sorting works. So if you see, there is one up arrow beside this column name number, right? If I click on it, you can see it is sorted in ascending order, or it is sorted in descending order. For so on the basis of every column you can sort it. So you can sort it on the basis of name, you can sort it on the basis of weight, you can sort it on the basis of symbol. Okay, so this is what uh, we will do today. So we will first implement the Angular material table, then we will implement the pagination, and then we will go for the sorting. Okay, so without getting late, let's get started. Open your Chrome, type Angular material, go to Angular material official website, which is material.angular.io. Click on components. In the left side you can see all the Angular material elements, right? So click on table. Okay, so let's start implementing it. So in order to do that, first we need to import this mat table module. So copy it, go to your VS Code, open app.module.ts. I have already opened it. So paste the import here and copy this mat table module under the ng module import section. Paste it. Now we are done with the import part. Okay, now let's go to our HTML and try to implement the HTML part. So in the HTML, first of all, we will create one div. Okay, inside this div we will create table. Okay, so name it as table. So table tag is used to create table. Now in order to make it as material table, we need to add mat table tag. Okay, now since we have written the tag for table, now we need to add the columns to that table, right? So let's add that also. Okay, so for that we will first use ng container. Okay, now inside this ng container we will first bind this ng container with mat column def. Okay, so mat column def equals to the name of the column. Okay, so let's suppose I will be creating one column named position. Okay, and we have binded this column with mat column def. D should be capital, it should follow the camel case. Now in the ng module we will add header to the column, right? So for that we should use th tag. Inside th tag we will add mat header cell, mat header cell. Okay, and bind it with property mat header cell def. Mat header cell def. Okay, and then you need to give the actual name that you want to show on the column. Okay, so header, so basically give the header name. So I will give this header name as suppose number. Okay, now we need to bind the data also. Okay, so for this column what will be the value of that column? Okay, for that we need to bind a td, means table data. Okay, now add this to mat cell and bind it with mat cell def. Mat cell def. Okay, mat cell def equals to, we need to uh, go through the loop, for loop, in order to fetch all rows of the array, right? So let's do it, then you will get to know. Okay, let element. Okay, now let's bind the data part. So let's do a string interpolation, element dot position. Okay, so this is how we have created one column. Now we need to also loop through the rows. Okay, so suppose we have a column, right, and we have 5 rows, so we need to loop through each row and print the column, right? So for that we will use tr tag, which is table row. Okay, add mat header row, mat header row, mat header row, and also bind it with mat header row def. Mat header row def. Okay, and bind it with displayed column, displayed columns. So columns, so basically this displayed column will be an array which will contain all the name of columns that we want to add in this table. Okay, we will create that, but first we are working with the HTML only. So this is done. Now again we need to loop through each row, right? For that, add one more tr tag with mat row. Okay, and bind it with mat row def. Mat row def, I always forget to do the camel casing here. This equals to let row columns and bind the columns with the array that will contain all the column name. Okay, close this also. Now first we will create an array displayed columns which will contain our column name, which is position. Okay, so let's go to our app.component.ts. This is of string array. Okay, equals to sorry, string array, and add the position column in it. Okay, now we have created one column here, that is position, right? Now we will create one interface. So let's do that. Sorry. So we will create one folder with name interface. Inside this we will create a file with name. Suppose give the name as periodic element. Okay, periodic element dot ts, right? Here we will create one interface export interface, name of interface that is periodic element. Okay, here we will create four properties, and that properties will be our four columns. Okay, so let's define it as name, which of type string. Other is position, that we have already added, if you know it, right? This will be of type number. Again, weight, which is also of type number. Then we will have symbol, which will of type string, right? So we have created these four properties which all will be the column names, right? Let's go to our app.component.ts. We will import this interface here. So import periodic element. Okay, we have imported it, and what we will do, we have added for now only one column. We will add other four columns also. Okay, position, name, weight, symbol. Okay, now let's create an array which will contain the table data. Okay, so create it, const element, name the array as element data. Okay, and it will be of type this periodic element. Okay, so this array will be of type periodic element array. Okay, and now we will create one array. Okay, so I have already created array in order to save time. So let me copy and paste that array. So from here, let me copy it and I will paste the array here. So if you can see, this array has 10 objects. Each object has four properties, and each all four properties have its corresponding value, right? So this is one thing, and then we need to bind this data to our table, right? So in order to do that, we will create one more variable, that is data source, or you can name it whatever you want. I have named it as data source. Okay, and it will be of type le, so it will be basically of type element data, right? So this is the array that we have created above. Now we can bind this data source to the table that we have created. So let's add that. So for that, we will use property binding, that is data source. Okay, and we bind it to the variable that we have created. I have created with the name data source. You can create this variable with whatever name you want. Okay, so this is how data is binded to the table. Now let's go to our localhost 4200. Let's see. So we cannot see anything, right? Click on inspect, click on console. So it's saying couldn't find column with ID name. Okay, so what we will do, we will also add more columns. So basically we had 4 columns, we have added only 1 column. We will add more 3 columns to it. Okay, and then we will see if it is working or not. Okay, so let's add that. I've copy pasted. So done with the formatting. Now let's change the name here. So we had name column, and the header should be also name. Bind it with property, that is name element dot name. Again we have weight column. The name of that column will be weight, and we will bind it to the weight property. Then again we have symbol. Name the column as symbol. Okay, and bind it with symbol property. Okay, let's go to our UI and see how it looks like. Close this one. So if you can see here, right, we have this angular material table. So we will add a style to it to give it a better view. So let's add one class, that is mat elevation z3. Okay, so let me again go now. If you can see here, right, this is the angular material table that we have implemented. Okay, so name, number, name, weight, symbol are the 4 columns, and these are the corresponding values binded to it. We will add pagination to this table only. Okay, so let's do that. Click on the API. First we will copy this import Mat Paginator module. Okay, so copy this module, go to your app.module.ts, scroll up, paste it here, copy this Mat Paginator module under the ng module import section, paste it. Okay, so we are done with the import part. Now let's go to our app.component.html. Okay, and we will add tag for pagination. Okay, so let's add that. We will use mat paginator, okay. Now we will add some of the properties to this Mat Paginator. Okay, first we will add the template reference variable with which we will link this Mat Paginator further. For now, I'm adding this template reference variable, that is paginator. Okay. Now also add length. Okay. Put it, give it as 100. Sorry. Okay. Another property is page size options. So on how many number of rows you want to show, okay, that you can bind with this property, that is page size, page size options. Okay, and we will give value, three value we will give, like by default it will be 3, then 5, then 10. So we can select between all three, these three value, whatever we want on the screen. Okay, and also we will add one label, add label, name it as select page. Okay, so we are done with HTML part. Now let's go to our app.component.ts. Here first we will import some of the modules that we need. So first import view child, because we have created a, you know, template reference variable, we will link with this view child. So we have imported this one. Now let's import Mat Paginator also. Import Mat Paginator. Fine. Then also import table data source. Okay. Mat table data source. Okay. Now we had created this view child. Now if you see, if you go to the HTML, you can see we have created this template reference variable. Now we need to link it. So go to your app.component.ts, type @viewchild. Okay, as paginator. Okay, we create one instance of it, name it as paginator, and this will be of type Mat Paginator. Okay, so this is one thing. Now this data source we need to change it to Mat table data source of periodic element. Okay, so if you remember, right, this periodic element is the interface that we had created, and also we need to invoke the method ng after view init, which is a Angular life cycle hook method that we need to invoke. Okay, so here we will create one instance of data source. This dot data source equals to new mat table data source of element data. Okay, and this dot data source dot paginator equals to this dot paginator. Okay, and so we have implemented this TS also. Okay, now you can get one error if you see this red thing, right? But I'm not getting any compilation error. Why? Because I have added go to this tsconfig.json. I have added a strict property initialization equals to false. Okay, so if you haven't added this, please add this to your tsconfig.json file. Okay, then you won't get any compilation error because uh, I'm using the latest TypeScript version. That's why I'm getting this error. Okay, so uh, let's go to our UI and see how it looks like. So open localhost. So if you see here, right, the pagination you can see in the right. So we have this page where we have by default 3 rows you can see, right? But if you click on it, if you click on 5, you can see we can now see the 5 rows, right? And if you select the 10, then you can get the all 10 rows. Again, if you select 3, you will get 3 rows. Okay, so this is how we can implement pagination with our Angular material table. And also I would like to mention one more properties to this mat paginator. So you can add one property that is show first last button. Okay, so add this show first last buttons. Okay, so this will be of camel case. Now let's go to our UI and see. So now you can see, right, we have this button also, so you can navigate from here also if you see, right? So in this way you can implement Angular material table with pagination. Now we will add sorting to this page, this table only. Okay, so let's implement it. First of all, go to your official website. We will import this mat sort module. Copy this module, go to your app.module.ts, scroll up, paste it here. Okay, copy this mat sort module. Under the ng module import section, paste it. So we are done with the import part. Now let's go to our app.component.html. So first of all, we will add one property in order to sort all the table columns. Okay, so add mat sort. mat sort. Okay, and also add mat sort change. So if you click on the sorting, then the depending on the arrow, sorting will happen, right? So for that we need to add one method. So we need to bind one event with this mat sort change. Mat sort change. Okay, so mat sort change equals to name a method. Okay, so we will invoke method that we will write in our TS. So write the name of method is announce sort change. Okay, announce sort change, pass the parameter event. Okay, this we have done. Now we have all these columns, right? So in order to sort all the columns, right, on the you want to sort the data on the basis of every column, right? So for that we need to add one more property to every header. Okay, so add it, that is mat sort header. Okay, so add it mat sort header. Okay, let's copy this and add this one to every th that we have. So we'll add to all the headers, 4 columns, 4 headers. Okay, so we have added it. Okay, so the HTML part is done. Now let's go to our app dot component.ts. Okay, first of all we need to import the sorting, right? So first let's import it. So let me import mat sort, mat sort, also import sort, we will need that. Mat sort, first import it and also add sort to it. Okay, so that is also done, and we will also import live announcer. Okay, so we have all imports here. We have this view child that I had imported in the last video. We have this mat sort, live announcer. Okay, now let's link the template reference variable to this view child. So add the rate view, sorry, add the rate view child as mat short. Okay, create one instance that is sort type mat sort. Okay, and also sign the value this dot data source dot sort equals to this dot sort, right? So uh, we have assigned the value also to the sorting. Now we need to write one method that is invoked on mat table, right? That is Let me go to HTML. You will see what we have given name. So copy this one. We need to write this method also, right? So paste it, give one parameter that is sort state, which is of type sort. Okay, and here if this sort state has the direction, then we will first we need to add one constructor here, and we will create an instance of live announcer. Okay, live announcer, jewel of type live announcer. Okay, and we will inject it to our constructor. Then we will use this instance here, this dot 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 announce make it as private. Okay, now this dot live announcer dot announce. Okay, in the announce wait sorted. Okay, bind it to sort state dot direction. Okay, ending, sorry, ending. Okay, similarly write else this dot announce sorting cleared. Sorry, sorting cleared. Right, now announce the spelling I had mistaken. So this method is also done. Now let's go to our UI and see how this looks. Okay, if you see, let me first select the 10. Okay, now if you click on number, it's getting sorted, right? And if you click on here also, right? So you can basically sort these data on the basis of any of the column. So this is how you can implement sorting in our Angular material application. So initially we implemented the Angular material table. Okay, and then we implemented pagination, if you see here, right? So we have implemented this pagination, and now we have implemented sorting on the same table. So in this way you can implement angular material table with pagination and sorting. Okay, and if you have any doubt regarding this video or any problem that you get during implementation, you can comment it below. I will definitely try to answer it. If you haven't subscribed our channel, please do subscribe it and press the bell icon to get more update. Thanks and have a nice day.